What's up, guys? How you doing, guys and gals? Today I will be talking or recapping about my Lowside in GMR. Sorry, the commentary is barely coming now, but I was kind of busy trying to get my bike up and going because a week of not riding is torture for me. Well, here's a broken headlight right here. This is why I went Street Fighter. Front stay is broken too. These parts actually came in a couple days ago, but because the condition of my plastics, see, all broken here, all scratched up, tabs are broken, it's a mess. Because of this, I had to go Street Fighter, and also I had to change out my swing arm. In order to change my swing arm, I needed to break the chain. So I went to the shop and got this chain breaking and riveting tool. Actually comes right in handy if you want to change your swing arm or change to a 520 chain or upgrade your sprockets. Actually, for the sprockets you don't need to break the chain, but if you want to upgrade the chain or you need to change your chain, you need one of these, or you could go to the shop and spend money on labor. I like to save money, so I bought the tool. A lot less in labor, and plus I like to get my hands dirty with my bike. I'll go over to the bike and show you the parts I replaced, what I did to make it a Street Fighter, and what needs to be on it to be legal. Because DOT is kind of picky on certain things. And DOT stands for Department of Transportation. Oh, here she is. Without her plastics. Take a good look at her. Now this swing arm right here, this came out of a 2008. I have a 2007, but since they're interchangeable, the 2007, 2008 R1s, I could interchange parts with it. I had to change this swing arm because it had a big hole right here, size of a baseball. So you can't run it like that because it might collapse on you, especially right here in the corner. In order to change out the swing arm, of course you have to take off the tire. You have to release the rear shock right over there. Break the chain. Take off these bolts. And the lower link right here. Not lower link, but the link. Once you do that, you can pull out this swing arm. It's a lot of work, but if you have time and you want to save some money and you have to change that swing up for whatever reason, I recommend you do it yourself. Make sure to get the torque specifications, how many foot-pounds of torque these bolts need, because you don't want these to come loose on you. Now my subframe looks a little tweaked. And there's a hole right here where the peg was, because the peg took the impact and pushed that in right there. Got this from the shop recently, actually today. You need at least one mirror for it to be street legal. You also need a headlight to be street legal. Now what I did is I went to Home Depot, bought this bracket, drilled two holes into this and just put it in where this horn usually mounts in. Now everything else is zip tied together, make sure nothing's loose. I should probably zip tie this later on, but everything's pretty much zip tied. You need the blinkers too. I use Velcro for that. Velcro and zip ties, that's what's holding most of the electrical connections. Usually it would be saved inside the plastics, but since I don't have plastics on, not today. No parts for me? You got parts for me? Well, and the speedometer, you necessarily don't need it. Sure, the law might say you need a speedometer, but in reality, you really don't. You could just go by the RPMs of the bike. Also, I had a problem with the front sensor because these wires right here came off the connector, so I had a buddy of mine at the shop help me take this apart, gave me 2 crimps, and then I did the rest, put it back together, but it kept coming off, so I just zip tied this right here to prevent it from coming. If I ever need to mess with it, I'm gonna solder the shit out of that. Make sure it doesn't come out again. Now, what did I feel when I low-sided? When I low-sided, this happened so fast. I was on the right, making a right on a turn. All of a sudden, I see the turn sharper, so I countersteered. I pushed the handlebar so I would get lower. All of a sudden, I just feel a sudden swoop towards the left. All I remember seeing is dust all over the place. And just feeling my hands dig into sand, felt like sand, into the ground until I stopped moving. Then I stopped moving, the dust cleared. Then I realized, you're on a cliff. Dude, you're on a cliff. Check where the bike is and make sure that shit's not coming down at you. Bike was right above me. I ended up past the bike. Notice that the bike was still on, so I turned off the ignition, hit the kill switch. And now the crew I was riding with, they're really cool guys. They always ride GMR, GRR, and they came right at me immediately as soon as I went down. They all stopped and they checked if I was okay. I heard and I was trying to tell them I'm good, give them the thumbs up and everything. They were amazed that I came out with no scratches. All I had was a swollen foot. Well, my gear pretty much saved me. Always wear your gear, kids. Always wear it. Nice. I had full leathers. I had this jacket and I had leather pants that zip on together. They're pretty much a 2-piece tracksuit. Had these track gloves and had my riding boots, and that left me with no scratches. Absorbed all the impact. It probably would have saved my ankle from being broken or sprained. I went to work 2 days later. I was able to work on my foot. Always wear your gear. You never know when shit happens. Be it when you're pushing the limit or just someone cuts you off in the parking lot. You go down or you hit something. A bird, animal. Gear will save you. Well, just finished eating some yogurt. Frozen yogurt, perfect for this weather. I think I'm getting sick. Well, anyways, back to the low side in GMR. How did it happen? Well, seems like I came in way too hot for that corner. Not for the initial corner, but since it was a decreasing radius, meaning you start turning and all of a sudden in the middle of the turn it gets sharper on you, so you have to turn a little bit more sharper. And when I had to turn sharper, I was already at maximum lean angle. And my tires were cold. And I didn't know the canyon. So when I leaned more, kind of went a little wide. And with cold tires, you don't have optimal traction to begin with. And once I hit that center line, the double yellows, the paint, my front tire just wiped out in front of me. My body position wasn't really all that great either. Meaning I wasn't leaning off the bike. If I was leaning off the bike, I probably would have saved that because the bike wouldn't be leaned over as much with proper body position. And that's why you want proper body position when you're curving, because then that means you're not leaned over as much. And when you're not leaned over as much, you have maximum contact patch on your tire, which means you have more traction. And that's why people who go fast around corners, you see them trying to hang off the bike, dragging their knee. And the reason why they drag their knee is a gauge showing them how leaned over they are, and also it lowers their center of gravity. When you lower your center of gravity, you don't feel like the bike wants to lean over, like flop over on you. So it gives you a little bit more control in the middle of the corner. So if I had a proper body position, I probably would have been fine. If I was going a little slower, I probably would have been fine too. All those mistakes put in together ended up in my low side.